It's just termed why. Why? For all the parents in the house today, I am certain you're familiar with your children. Every instruction you give them, what do they say? Why? Boys and girls, wash the dishes. Why? We have to go across the road. Why? Well, this morning our story is about why. There's this little boy, his name was Jonathan. And Jonathan just loved to ask why. Everything mommy and daddy says, every instruction given, Jonathan would ask why. Why? Daddy said, Jonathan, it's time to go to bed. Why, Daddy? Mommy said, Jonathan, you need to brush your teeth. Why, Daddy? And Jonathan just kept on and on and on. And Daddy and Mommy, they were constantly trying to teach him that it's good to say why because it helps you to learn things, but also there are times when they need you to obey right away. Well, one day there was a test for Jonathan. One day after Sabbath afternoon, they were taking a walk in the mountains at the back of their house. Jonathan loved going on hikes because he can walk with mommy and daddy and ask why for a lot of things that's happening. So as they stroll along, he will see a tree, he will ask, why is the tree green? Why is the fruit round? And he loved doing that because it helped him to learn. Well, that particular afternoon, Jonathan decided that he did not want to keep up with mom and dad, so he went ahead of them. And he kept running and running and running. And Dad said, Jonathan, you need to be careful. And as usual, Jonathan said, why? Dad said, because you can fall. But as Jonathan kept going, suddenly Dad shouted, Jonathan, stop! And to some surprise, Jonathan obeyed immediately. And he bowed down and he stopped. And when Dad met up to him, he said, Jonathan, when they looked ahead, just about 2 seconds again, there was a steep incline. And if Jonathan had gone one step further, he would have gone straight down over the ditch. At that moment, the lesson was learned for Jonathan. He realized that there are sometimes he needed to listen and obey right away. And at that time, for no reason, I'm not sure why, but Jonathan did not ask why. When Dad said stop, Jonathan stopped immediately. So for us, boys and girls, little children, there are times when mom and dad will say something, give you an instruction, and it's always good to obey, right? It's good to question too, but it's always good to obey. So for example, you're crossing the street and mom said stop. Don't stop, don't ask why, just stop. Because sometimes it can be dangerous for us. So our parents gives us instructions and it's still for our own good. And just like our Bible, God has given us the Bible with instructions. And one of the instructions He's given us is, it says in Ephesians 6:1. What does it say? We can repeat that together. Ephesians 6:1. Obey your parents, for this is right. So just like Jonathan did that day, he obeyed his mom and dad, and he did not fall over the ditch, and that could have been a detrimental for him. Maybe he could have broken his neck, broken his hands or something. He obeyed right away. So let's just remember Jonathan this week. When we're tempted to ask mom and dad why, remember that Jonathan, we need to obey.
Amen.